Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're setting out to build a really clear, ground-up understanding of a phenomenon that is happening right in front of our eyes, yet it often goes entirely unnoticed. We're going to uncover exactly how artificial intelligence is actively reshaping beauty. And we're going to explore not just what AI does to a single image, but how it fundamentally alters what we see, what we create, what we buy, and ultimately what we actually trust. So take a second. Think about your own social media feeds. Think about the faces, the products, the specific aesthetics that you scroll past every single day. We've always been told that beauty is completely subjective, right? That it's in the eye of the beholder. But when a machine is quietly curating, filtering, and optimizing the very images we consume, we really have to ask, who actually holds the power of aesthetic judgment today? Let's dive right into this.
Section 1. A system of interpretation. Beyond the look.
For a long time, beauty was something you mostly just looked at. A face, a photograph, a certain style. But AI has transformed beauty into this highly complex system of interpretation. It's really no longer just about what happens to be placed in front of the camera lens. It's about what gets enhanced, what gets removed, what gets entirely generated from scratch, and, crucially, what feels believable enough for you to actually trust. Think of it kind of like a stunning bridal display window. The dress is real, the lighting is real, but your final impression is heavily manipulated by the arrangement, the polish, and the presentation. AI does exactly this. It doesn't just passively show us beauty, it edits the very terms on which beauty is seen, which in turn profoundly shapes our own desires and our self-perception.
Section 2. Recognizing patterns, not truth. How AI sees. So there is a fundamental difference between us and the machine. AI does not experience beauty. It doesn't feel attraction or admire elegance in any sort of human way. Instead, AI detects patterns. Imagine a child who has literally never tasted food, but has only ever looked at pictures of meals that adults call delicious. That kid will eventually learn that a shiny sauce or a really neatly arranged plate means the food is good. But the child isn't actually tasting anything. Well, AI works the exact same way. It learns the statistical packaging of beauty, but it never actually experiences the feeling. Because AI is essentially just a pattern-matching machine, it categorizes beauty incredibly fast. And this categorization breaks down into 3 key buckets: shape, surface, and context. Shape covers things like symmetry and contours, which directly influences retouching. Surface looks at texture and shine, which guides skin enhancement. But context, well, that's the really fascinating one. AI looks at the background, the styling, and the overall mood. It's exactly like walking into a high-end luxury hotel lobby. Before you even see your actual room, the lighting, the scent, and the furniture down in the lobby have already totally shaped your expectations. AI notices not just the object of beauty, but the entire frame around it, and it uses that frame to set our expectations.
Now, I want to slow down right here because we really need to anchor a vital first principle. AI does not know what is true. It knows what is common. Repetition is absolutely not the same thing as truth. Just because a dataset repeatedly shows one kind of face as luxury or one specific kind of skin as clean, that doesn't make that standard morally, culturally, or aesthetically correct. It only makes it statistically familiar to the machine.
And that brings us to a concept called compression. Human beauty is wonderfully complex. It's rich, it's layered, it involves culture, age, emotion, and personal identity. But an AI simply can't process all of that messy human nuance. It has to turn that complexity into a simplified model that it can actually compute. So it compresses all those beautiful layers into a much smaller set of reproducible patterns. Think about a map of your favorite city. A map is highly useful precisely because it leaves things out, right? It doesn't show you every single window or let you smell the bakeries or hear the conversations happening on the street. It just gives you the abstracted patterns you need to navigate. AI's model of beauty is exactly that. It's just a map. It is not the rich, layered territory of the actual city. It captures the essence well enough to feel real to us, but something profoundly human is always lost in that compression.
Section 3. Algorithms that shape taste. The algorithmic feedback loop. We all absolutely love to think our taste is entirely self-authored, that we just organically happen to fall in love with that one specific skincare aesthetic after 20 minutes of doom scrolling. But taste is not just personal, it is actively trained by our environment. Imagine a market stall where the seller only ever puts mangoes and strawberries right at your eye level.
Over time, you might start to think those are simply the best fruits, not because the others are actually worse, but because they are what you repeatedly encounter. Algorithms act exactly like that shelf placement. They quietly and visibly decide what becomes visible.
And that visibility creates a massive chain reaction. Let's trace this loop of normalization. When a system picks a specific aesthetic to show more often, it obviously gets seen frequently. Because it's seen often, it starts to feel familiar. And what feels familiar soon feels preferable. People engage with it, so it gets copied. And finally, through pure repetition, it becomes the new standard. The system is absolutely not neutral here. It is learning from our reactions while simultaneously steering our next round of reactions. And because AI is constantly updating itself based on engagement, beauty stops feeling stable. It becomes this fast, flat, moving target. And this creates some very real-world effects. There's immense pressure on individuals to adapt quickly to whatever the new trend is. We see a homogenization where all styles start to blur together and look exactly alike. And we get self-reinforcing standards, where the most visible look simply becomes the most copied look. The algorithm essentially acts like a filter that strips out natural variation to favor easily recognizable, reliable templates. Taste may feel like a personal compass, but AI increasingly acts like the map maker. This quote just perfectly encapsulates this shift we're seeing from private preference to public pattern. AI in beauty is not just out there generating pretty pictures. It is actively organizing the entire field in which beauty is judged, distributed, and ultimately believed by us. Section 4. The power of human judgment. Reclaiming the territory. We absolutely have to draw a hard line here between what the machine can do and what only we can do. AI is incredibly powerful at pattern recognition. It can compress, it can classify, and it can amplify like nobody's business. But it has absolutely zero capacity for value recognition. Only humans can look at something and decide if an image is actually fair, if an edit is ethical, or if a standard is truly meaningful rather than just repeatedly visible. So the crucial point is how you navigate this going forward. You can use these first principles questions as a sort of mental toolkit for clarity every time you scroll. Just ask yourself, what was changed here? What underlying pattern is the algorithm actually rewarding? What does this system desperately want me to believe is normal? And what rich human meaning was lost in the optimization process? This really isn't about being overly paranoid or suspicious. It's just about having clarity. It empowers you to use and appreciate AI without blindly surrendering your own judgment to the machine. I want to leave you with this lingering thought the very next time you open an app and look at a stunning, flawless image. Just ask yourself, how much of what I am seeing is actual discovery and how much is pure algorithmic fabrication? Keep your human compass steady and please don't let the map maker dictate your reality. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer and keep questioning what you see.